Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Abdul Star and my roll number is BSF 1701765. Today I am presenting the topic soil gel synthesis. In this lecture we will learn about inorganic material synthesis, ceramic method also known as shake and bake method. In ceramic method, the synthesis of yttrium, barium, copper oxide. Soil gel methods. We will also learn about how a soil is stabilized, point of zero charge, silica gel through soil gel processing, and at the end about hydrolysis and condensation. Inorganic materials synthesis. We know that inorganic materials are mostly present in solid state. So solid state reactions are of two types: solid solid, solid gas, or intercalation. Ceramic method. This method is also known as shake and bake. In this method, two or more solids are directly reacted to form the final product. The principle is that in this reaction no decomposition is involved. So two solids or more solids are reacted directly, and principle is what? No decomposition of that solid is involved. Solid-solid reactions are simple to perform. Starting materials are often readily available. These are the advantages of the solid-solid reaction. At low cost, and the reactions are clean. They do not involve other elements, and this is beneficial for the industry. Solids do not react with solids at room temperature, even if thermodynamics is favorable. Means high temperature is needed for these reactions. Disadvantages of the ceramic method include the need for the high temperatures, the possibility of inhomogeneity, and the contamination from containers. Like the containers are also in the solid state, so the material of the container can also react with the reactants. Synthesis of yttrium, barium, copper oxide. Here is the structure given. Deduction of the unit cell of yttrium, barium, copper oxide from the perovskite structure. Three perovskite unit cells are stacked above each other. Then the oxygen atom marked band X are removed. Like if we see in the structure the three unit cells, these are stacked above each other. Then the oxygen atoms, like mentioned here, the oxygen atoms, oxygen atoms, oxygen atoms, and oxygen atoms are removed to get yttrium, barium, copper oxide. In this method, a direct reaction between three solids, yttrium oxide, barium carbonate, and copper oxide, takes place. These solids are ground to obtain large surface area. We know that when the size is small, the surface area is large. Then these small our ground substances are pressed into pellets, means they came in contact. Then these are heated in alumina board, and this is the temperature profile. First, the reactants are heated to about 1000 or 900 degrees centigrade. Heated for about 20 hours, the reaction takes place. Then it is cooled down to about 500 degrees centigrade. At 500 degrees centigrade, oxidation takes place. Then it is cooled down to get our desired product. Chemical mixing in solution. This is another method. It decreases diffusion lengths by using intimately mixing of cations, solid precursors containing the desired cations. If we see in the figure that in figure 1, conventional solid state reaction technique give slow reaction kinetics. Like in this figure, the particles have large size and small surface area, but solid solution precursors techniques give fast reaction kinetics because they are the small particles with large surface area used. Precursors for ceramic synthesis. Precursors are obtained via co-precipitation, solid solutions or compound. The chemical mixing in solution is not suited for preparation of yttrium, barium, copper oxide. Now, sol gel methods. The sol gel process may be described as formation of an oxide network through polycondensation reactions of a molecular precursor in a liquid. A sol is a stable dispersion of colloidal particles or polymers in a solvent. So what is sol? Sol is a stable dispersion of colloidal particles or polymers in a solvent. These particles may be amorphous or crystalline. An aerosol is particles in a gas phase, we also know, while a sol is a particle in a liquid. A gel consists of a three-dimensional continuous network which encloses a liquid phase. Two types. In a colloidal gel, the network is built from agglomeration of colloidal particles. In a polymer gel, the particles have a polymeric substructure made by aggregates of subcolloidal particles. Generally, the sol particles may interact by van der Waals forces or hydrogen bonds. A gel may also be formed from linking polymer chains. In most gel systems used for material synthesis, the interactions are of equivalent nature and the gel process is irreversible. But if the gelation process may be reversible, if other interactions are involved like van der Waals forces or hydrogen bonding. So, if the covalent nature or covalent bonds are involved in the gelation process, then this process will be irreversible. But if the van der Waals forces or hydrogen bondings or other interactions are involved, then the gelation process will be reversible. The idea behind sol gel synthesis is to dissolve the compound in a liquid in order to bring it back as a solid in a controlled manner. So first we dissolve the compound in a liquid, then bring it back to solid state, but in a controlled manner. Multi-component compounds may be prepared with a controlled stoichiometry by mixing sols of different compounds. The sol gel method prevents the problems with co-precipitation, which may be inhomogeneous by a gelation reaction. It also enables mixing at an atomic level, like it enables us to mix our reactants at an atomic level. It results in small particles which are easily incinerable, so it is useful in nanochemistry. The sol gel method was developed in the 1960s mainly due to the need of new synthesis methods in the nuclear industry. A method was needed where dust was reduced and which needed a lower sintering temperature. In addition, it should be possible to do the synthesis by remote control. If the gel is dried by evaporation, Then the capillary forces will result in shrinkage. The gel network will collapse and a zero gel is formed. If drying is performed under supercritical conditions, the network structure may be retained and a gel with large pores may be formed. This is called an aerogel and it has very low density. Our record is 0.005 gram per centimeter cube. Sol gel methods. The sol gel process, also known as gelation process, a change from a liquid state to a gel state through polycondensation reactions. We know that what is condensation? It is the attachment of the two compounds by removal or elimination of a small compound like water, carbon dioxide, etc. A sol is a stable dispersion of colloidal particles or polymers in a solvent. The particle may be amorphous or crystalline. Their typical size is few nanometer. A gel consists of a three-dimensional continuous network of the sol particles which encloses a liquid phase as shown in this figure. Sol consists of the particles dispersed in the liquid, while gel consists of the particles network. Two types of the gel. In a colloidal gel, the network is built from agglomeration of the colloidal particles. But in a polymer gel, the particles have a polymeric substructure made by aggregates of subcolloidal particles. Schematics. First of all, precursors, usually mixtures of metal, bimetallic or exobimetallic alkoxide. In first step, hydrolysis takes place to get sols, then agglomeration or condensation to get gel. During gelation, covalent bonding, van der Waals interactions and hydrogen bondings are formed. In particulate sols, the gelling takes place via agglomeration, while in common polymeric sols, gelling takes place via condensation. Sol gel may be used to prepare materials with a variety of shapes such as porous structures, thin fibers, dense powders and thin films. These are the definitions of sol gel process. Sol gel we already discussed in the previous slides. Formation of an oxide network through hydrolysis and polycondensation reaction of a molecular precursor in a liquid is known as sol gel process. Sol, what is sol? Sol is a stable dispersion of colloidal particles or polymers in a solvent, and gel is a three-dimensional network which contains a liquid phase. In sol gel method, organic compounds of the elements like alkoxides or esters or inorganic salts like nitrates or chlorides. These compounds are dissolved in solvent, usually alcohol or methanol. When we are using organic compounds, the solvent will be water if we are using inorganic salts. And the catalyst of these chemical reactions are acids and bases. This is a basic chemical reaction. First of all, hydrolysis takes place, then polycondensation to give a compound. Basic physical transformation. First of all, we prepare a solution of the compound, then it is heated at 40 to 250 degrees centigrade. Drying takes place, evaporation of water and solvent, and it is converted to sol. Then sol is heated at 250 to 400 degrees centigrade. Oxidation of organic matter takes place and gel is obtained. Then this gel is heated at about 400 to 1000 degree centigrade, the removal of OH group takes place, the densification of the compound takes place, and we get finally the solid body, our required product. Here are some applications like sole. Sole is used for preparation of sole fibers, powders, or through gelation evaporation. It gives zero gel film that is heated to get dense ceramic film. Then gel, through supercritical extraction it gives aerogel, and through solvent evaporation it gives zero gel. This zero gel is dry heated to get dense glass. Now, how a sole is stabilized? We already discussed that a sole consists of a liquid with colloidal particles, and these particles are not dissolved in the solvent, and they also do not agglomerate or sediment to the bottom. Their sedimentation do not take place. So how this sole is stabilized? Small particles tend naturally to agglomerate due to van der Waals forces and a tendency to decrease the total surface energy. In order to counteract the van der Waals interactions, repulsive forces must be established. These repulsive forces are established through steric hindrance or electrostatic repulsion. Steric hindrance or surfactant. Adsorption of a layer of organic molecules takes place. Particles are prevented from approaching each other due to the adsorption of a layer of organic molecules, so reducing the role of the van der Waals forces, and this technique works best in concentrated dispersions and organic media. Electrostatic repulsion. Adsorption of charged species onto the surface of the particles. Charged species on the surface of the particles. So repulsion between the particles and agglomeration will be prevented. This technique is used in the aqueous solution. Now the topic is point of zero charge. First we see that what is point of zero charge. It is the pH. At the pH the particle becomes charge neutral, is referred to as point of zero charge or PZC. All particles have ionic groups that control the surface potential. Counter ions in the solution will cover this layer, shielding the rest of the solution from the surface charges. For hydrous oxides, the surface potential will be determined by reactions with the ions H plus and OH negative. The surface potential is pH dependent. Now we see that for pH is greater than point of zero charge, the surface is negatively charged. How? When the pH is greater than point of zero charge, then there will be more OH negative ions and less H plus ions. So metal hydroxide will react with OH negative ions and it will give MO negative plus H2O. So surface will be negatively charged. But when pH is less than PZC, the surface is positively charged. When pH is less than PZC, there will be more H plus ions and they will give us MOH2 plus ions and the surface will become positively charged. There are some typical values like magnesium oxide 12, aluminium oxide 9, titanium oxide 6, stannous oxide 4.5, and silicon oxide 2.5. PGC depends, there is some dependence, depends somewhat on the size of the particle and the degree of condensation. So point of zero charge depends upon the size of the particle and degree of the condensation. Now there is formation, some information about the formation of the silica gel through Sol gel processing. A Sol gel process occurs in the several steps, like in first step hydrolysis and condensation of the molecules, formation of a Sol. Then gelation. What is gelation? It is the transformation of the Sol to gel through aging and drying. Silica gel, it is a desiccant used for the as a desiccant. In the last, hydrolysis and condensation. The starting point for the formation of silica gel may be alkoxide or silanols. These are reacted to give siloxane groups. This is structure of alkoxide, then silanol, this is siloxane. In first step, hydrolysis takes place of alkoxide, it gives silanol, then this silanol and alkoxide react with each other, their condensation takes place and we get siloxane. The silanol can also react with another compound of silanol to give siloxane. So thank you for your patience. It was all about my presentation. If you have any query about silica gel synthesis, you can ask. Thank you so much.